Welcome, Nick and Nick podcast, sponsored by The Royalty Roofing here in Omaha, Nebraska. Today we have the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Matt Dougherty.
Oh, man, I don't know about that.
Matt, I think we were originally connected maybe through Tom Simmons, but even
Yes.
probably more connections than that. But overall, you've been a steward of excellence in the community in business and finance and development and insurance, and you've just been an Omaha native. Are you native to Omaha?
We are. So,
Okay.
So my family grew up here. Went to school here, went to college here, and likewise, to kind of go fall back a little bit on what you said about working together. Your name actually came up from multiple sources because of the great work you guys do. And in our business, in the insurance business, there's a few people that you really want to be close to in this business, because when things fall apart or when there's problems, obviously, you want to be able to lean on certain types of folks. And one of them in particular is roofers.
Yeah.
Roofing, as you know, especially these last 4 or 5 years.
I know.
It's just, I don't know if I've ever seen anything. I've been doing this 25 years almost, and last 5 years really has been unbelievable. But, I appreciate everything you said, and I'm honored. But, likewise, we feel the same about working with you and your teams. And I can't tell you how many times people call us in the office and tell us, boy, those guys at Royalty do a super job. One of which is my neighbor.
I paid them to do that.
Yeah, I thank you, by the way. Well, my neighbor's one of them. So my own neighbor,
he's a good guy.
Oh, he's an amazing guy, and he speaks very highly of everything you guys do. And so it's a testament to everything you're doing. And I think our values are very much aligned. I mean, you're a family man. I have 4 children.
Nice. How old are they? Are they in school, out of school?
Well,
married?
it's.
How close are you to having grandkids?
We're a ways out still.
Okay.
Not that far, but okay.
Right.
So I got one that's just graduated from college, and so she's probably at a point now with her significant other that I could see the marriage bells going off here pretty quick.
Okay.
And then I got a son that's going to college, and he's going into senior year of college. And again, I could see him and his significant other maybe tying that knot soon. And then I have a daughter going off to Wayne State College next year.
That's a great program.
It is. It is. And she wants
Great
to
program.
do...
Great college school.
It is. I was
Great
gonna
little
say,
community right there.
Yep,
Yeah, it's so nice.
We really fell in love with it. I didn't know much about it, and then we went out there on a campus visit, and she fell in love with it like we did, and we kind of leave it up to our kids to kind of decide what they want to do. And so, and then my youngest, the little caboose, he is going to high school at Westside, and I can't say enough good things about Westside, and that's it for us. I mean, he's going to his sophomore year in high school, and so
They got a lot of really good programs at Westside.
They do. He did swimming at Westside this last year. Not sure if he's going to continue with that. It's a lot of commitment.
It is.
And
Takes a lot of dedication.
It really does. And he's kind of big in music too. And so all of our kids kind of did the band thing with school.
Well,
and,
that's the school to do it at.
It is, isn't it? I mean, they've got a great program.
Yeah, they have built a really, really good program.
And we felt just tickled that they were, our kids wanted to do it, and they've done it. And so yeah. I'm kind of seeing our lives, Laura and I, we're seeing we're coming out of it, right? Like, this is a time where you're trying to savor that moment, but, kids are leaving the house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a new chapter for us a little bit. But, going back to our businesses, though, we have a lot in common. And I know for me, the why really is, I just love serving and helping people, right? And so being a, husband and a father first, we do it every day.
They're tied together, right?
They really are. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You learn from each one of them?
Yep.
Yeah, you so you own many locations of State Farm, and how long have you been with State Farm?
So it's going on almost, I think we're in our 2002, so 23rd year. So 23 years in the business now.
23 years, all at State Farm.
All of those years at State Farm, yes.
Wow.
And you know, I can say that the company has made it really easy. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful company. It's kind of a unique business model in the sense that typically, you know, when you go into business, you build a business, you know, one relationship at a time.
Yeah.
And then over time, the business will just naturally, organically grow if you do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And then when you're ready to walk away, you just kind of give it back to the company. You really get, you know, they don't really give you anything for that, but you hopefully had a fruitful career and were disciplined in your, you know, your savings and so forth. But it's a little unique where a lot of other companies maybe will they'll have a buyout or you can sell your book.
Oh, sure. Okay, you don't have that option with State Farm.
No, we do not.
You earn what you earn, and you're disciplined, and you learn how to balance your budget.
That's right. And the company makes it really easy to, if you, like I said, you do the right thing and you reinvest in your business, over time it will grow. And so that's what's happened for us. And now we're in our second agency. We have one on 72nd and Dodge. We have one on 49th and Dodge. And so, and it's the little things that go a long way. And so the little things that made a difference for us is picking people like yourselves that have been so good to us and worked with our clients and giving them the care that they need. And then, you know, the team, the people you surround yourself with, they make a big difference too. So
I think State Farm probably also plays a big impact to their ability to gauge the market and make sure that they're creating an opportunity for you to be successful and provide a quality service.
Yes, typically speaking, you know, if you were to look at the industry, I mean, State Farm traditionally has been in the top 2 or 3 in almost every category when it comes to service, claims being paid, financially in terms of their balance sheet and how they are disciplined and managing, you know, our policyholders' money. So, you know, that plays a big part, and they do a really good job of securing the brand and kind of keeping the brand what I call front and center, and protecting it. And so, you know, if you just, like I said, if you know, if you have the right people and you do the right thing and you reinvest in your business over time, it sort of takes care of itself a little bit, right?
Yeah, you reinvest in your, you know, especially your people.
Yes.
You know, I've got to meet some of the people that have been with you a period of time, and you know, that's a big deal when you have other people that really genuinely care about the vision that you have or the success that you guys want to achieve together, and everybody's in it together. You can really make some really positive movement and help not just yourself, but you know, families and community and everything. So. You also have RMDX Dvelopment. Right.
And so the kind of the creation of that was really, you know, going full circle, kind of back where I started. The company, once I'm done, I walk away. You know, the company takes the business back, right? So, So I always say that it's a income-rich, asset-poor business model.
Okay.
And so it's kind of an easy way to look at it. And so one of the things that Mama and I have done over the years is we talk about, like, what can we do to, if we do build this and we're lucky enough to have something, what would be a good use and good place to invest our money? And so we've kind of decided to invest the money in real estate. And specific to that, we invested into multifamily projects, apartment buildings. And so RMDX was sort of had come together maybe several years ago. Ryan Durant was doing some developments for kind of like that workforce housing, and I kind of liked what I was seeing. I was already doing developments on my own with MDX.
Okay.
And Ryan had RMD.
Wow.
Which is his company.
That's how the two came together.
And so I had a client, his name is Josh Dotzler from Abide, and he had bought a campus.
Is that when the two of you connected?
It is. It is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Josh Dotzler and I go way back.
Yeah.
And he said, Matthew, would you be willing to look at something for us? So they had like a building up there. It was like a dormitory.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, before I get too far ahead of myself, one of the people I admire most in this world is Josh Dotzler and his father. They're just what Abide has
Couldn't
done.
agree more.
They're just
absolutely
amazing people. And if Josh
Ron and Josh are doing an amazing job. I mean, talk
they
about
really are.
Talk about truly
family, yes.
serving one another and serving your brothers and your sisters in the community. I mean, they do it at the highest level.
They do. And if Josh or Ron ask you to do something, you don't even ask.
No, absolutely not.
You just do it.
They are such a blessing.
They really are.
Yeah.
So he had said, could you help me with this? And I looked at it, but I thought, after exploring it more and where they were, I thought there's programs that can actually maybe do better than what I traditionally do with some of these like different investment tools. And so I said, I know someone maybe that would be more useful, and that's how Brian and I got together. So we met with Josh, and we kind of came up with some options, and it sort of blossomed from there into all these other projects now that we're working together on. And so,
you guys have done some real transformative work. The project you guys did in Plattsmith, that was the original school,
right? Yep.
And
yep.
you guys went in, gutted it.
We did.
Transformed it, and it is now how many units are in that property?
Yeah, so first of all, that was a tough one. And truth be told, we probably should have, looking back, it should have been probably scraped because it was such poor condition.
Yeah, the building itself?
Oh, the building was vacant for almost 25, 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
And so when we got in there, we had no idea how bad it really was. One little story about that, the guys from Lund Ross who did the project, when they were working, just getting started on the demo, just to clear out stuff, they all had to leave one particular day because they had gotten in there and were working. There was so much debris and moisture in there. When they got in there, were clearing out. Larry and his team had to leave and burn their jeans because they had so much fleas and lice in their clothes that they had to go and literally had to go and strip it down. Some of them burn it, and it was that bad. The school was just in such disrepair. It was like, but we ended up doing it. I'm so proud of Lund Ross, and Allie Pointer was a big part of that. Ryan, of course, and Rich Green.
Ryan Durant, which we're gonna have to get on here. Ryan and I go back. We went to high school together.
I didn't know that.
In South Sioux City. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, so I heckled him on the golf course when I took him out, a couple months back. So it's so awesome getting to reconnect with people that are, in some sort of or capacity that we get to interact and, see each other and even do business or do life together. So it's such an awesome experience.
That's the best of both worlds.
It is, yeah.
To be able to do business and be able to just hang out with someone you enjoy.
Yeah, you get to see his family. You get to see their kids. His kids and our kids go to the same school, and and then I think it was shortly after he was talking about our kids were going to a wrestling meeting at the high school, and we were walking out together, and he was talking about this potential opportunity. He was going to be doing a project out in Plattsmith.
Yeah.
And you and I think, had golfed maybe shortly before that.
Yeah.
And you had kind of led to that there might be a project you were going to look at doing in Plattsmith.
Yeah.
And I said, Ryan, do you know Matt Dougherty? And he goes, yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
That's who I'm doing it with.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm going, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Man, the Lord works in mysterious ways sometimes.
I couldn't agree more with that. And when Ryan and I did Plattsmouth, that ended up, it was really mostly Ryan. And he was the brain.
He'd probably say the same thing, huh?
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt that. But it turned out wonderful. We did, so it was 41 units. And the irony is that one of the people that work for me in the agency, Patty does all my accounting for the agencies. She went to high school in Plattsmouth.
Mel Scaturo, who is here, our commercial business development.
Okay.
She has been in Plattsmouth her whole life.
Oh, wow.
And so she watched that project from beginning to end, and they are, the community, from what I know, I think feels extremely blessed and honored that turned into something that is useful and good for everybody.
The community, boy, I tell you what, if anybody's hearing this and they're in a different community, they have a project that they want to get out of the ground, just call Plattsmouth and ask them what they did to get this project done, because they were huge.
I'm sure they were.
They really were. Ryan and I both said, man, there are so many people that could learn from how you get a project done. When you go through a project, the one thing I can guarantee you is surprises.
Sure.
You just don't know what you don't know. You're going to go into something, there's just going to be surprises. Every time we needed them, every time they stepped up, and the city of Plattsmouth, the mayor, Emily, the manager, the city manager, all of them went out of their way to make sure that they could help us in any way they could, and they did. And I cannot say enough thank yous for the work they did. That high school building especially, because that was really complicated. It turned out to be 41 units, but the high school is 25 of those. And that building was it turned out to be a great project, but it was very sophisticated and needed a lot of help.
I bet. 25 years, that's a lot of despair.
It is. And I think they're happy.
All brick?
Yes, the high school is. It's actually a triple width. It might even be quadruple width brick, where there's 4 rows of brick in some areas. One point, one of the subcontractors actually was working on the lentils, and the young man just happened to pull out one too many, and the whole thing caved in on the east side,
oh my goodness,
the northeast corner. It was real lucky no one got hurt, but it kind of came down. But that just gives you an idea of just how much work and how much work it needed. And
did you have to do anything with the historical society on that project?
We did, yeah. So that was a historic tax credit as part of the capital stack that went into that. So it was historic tax credits for both federal and state. Then you had low income housing tax credits, and that's kind of where Ryan Durant really specializes, really good, and he understands it. And then, of course, we had some other capital stacks, like VIP.
That assisted with being able to get the project going.
Right.
Good.
Right. And so it really panned out really well for everybody. And when it was fine, when it's finished and we finally look back on it, we're very, very grateful with all the people that participated in the project and got us home. So Plattsmouth was really Ryan and I's first project from A to Z that we got to work together on, and it turned out great.
Great.
And then Blair was the next one.
Okay.
The one that's the project that's helping kids aging out of foster care.
Oh man, that's so good.
It's a good thing. Yep.
Yeah.
And Lutheran Family Services were the sponsors. So they came in and basically purchased the project and basically came in and wanted to be the sponsor in that project. And let me tell you what,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that organization is amazing.
Wow.
I cannot tell you enough good things about what they're doing, what they're going to be doing. Chris is the CEO, is a visionary. I think that, and he's got a team that he's trying to build around some of these concepts, and obviously this foster kids aging out of foster care is one of them.
Yes,
which I love that
I do too.
They're really involved in housing. I know other people. I have clients that actually work with them, that they've helped them with families coming from abroad, from overseas. Immigrant families that need somewhere to land. They're really good at placing them in these different projects.
I think that ties in with what Abide has done.
Yes.
I think the focus they've given to the community in North Omaha specifically, and their heart to transform a property and be able to allow somebody and give somebody an opportunity to have a roof underneath their head and grow inside of that property and take ownership of it.
Right.
I think it just really makes a world of difference in their lives, and really presents an opportunity, not just for, that individual, but the neighbors around it and the community to truly be, a part of something special.
I agree. I would say that I think it's the Lighthouse
program. Yeah, their Lighthouse mission. Yeah.
Yes, the Lighthouse mission. And
yeah.
when Josh and Ron were explaining the concept years ago, I thought to myself, wow, like they just basically, I know not only the people taking the home and they bring them into that home to give them a house, a home to own and live, but it's what they do in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Because what they're doing is they're going into neighborhoods that are sort of forgotten, that need help, you know? They come in, they stabilize one block at a time. They come in and they say, hey, we're going to do this, and it works. I mean, it's a testament. I mean, I think that if more people were doing what they were doing, I think to myself, wow.
We could all do it.
I know we could. There's a lot of truth to that.
We could all do it. They do it on such a fundamental level.
I know.
And it's transformative. I mean, it is truly transformative what they do, just on a fundamental level that really transforms people's lives. It truly does.
It does. It does. I mean, Ron, they started that. I don't know how many years it's been now. It's got to be at least 20.
Long time.
I think it's
very long time.
Yeah. They came to Dundee Presbyterian Church years ago.
Okay.
When Dr. Bauer was our minister, and I remember Ron at that point was getting up and talking about their mission and talking about what they were doing. And afterwards, I happened to have the honor to sit and just ask him some questions. And he was like, "I'm going to these different, churches for funding so we can keep this thing rolling," because he was trying to build something. And now they built something, and it's
they truly have.
They have, and it's like, wow, look what they've done. And so between what Abide has done and is doing, and an organization like LFS, same thing. What they've done and what they're doing. I mean, it's, I invited a lot of people to go out and look at what they're doing and participate with these folks, because they're doing great things for our city. I mean, they really are.
Is Lutheran Family Services, is that locally? Okay, that's a local organization?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
For some reason I thought that was more of a regional or a national organization.
Well, they might be part of more of a national organization, but the group here locally, I mean, Chris Tonjes and Mosa, I mean, they are coming in and really trying to, at least from what I gather, really trying to expand the operations and most of all the reach of support that they can provide. And they're really doing a remarkable job. I mean, coming into the Blair project, I'm sure they would say the same thing. It was a lot of just like learning, Where's
that one located?
It's in the old Dana College.
That's right.
Yeah, the Dana College. So
that's right.
The campus closed.
Yes.
And so Ed Shada, who's another visionary, amazing guy, came in.
That's right.
And had bought that from I can't think of his name, but
I know it. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
He owned Crossroads.
Yep.
And
he owns a lot of property.
He did. He owned a lot of stuff. And so Ed had bought it from him and then reached out to Ryan. And Ryan had sat down with me, and we all sat and talked about the possibilities. And Ryan started putting work to it, and we figured out a way to get that project done. And because Ed really wanted something for kids. And so one step forward, we just kind of kept moving it, progressing. And once Ryan put everything together and went to NYFA was like all in. And the folks at NYFA said, we love this. And so they funded it with the tax credits.
That is so
And
neat.
once it happened, though, that was just part of it, right? So part of it is just how do you come up with the funding to do it?
Yeah.
But then the next thing that has to unfold is really, now that you got that, now you need support services. Because
Okay.
it's more than just housing. You got to have someone there to also kind of help these kids land softly and be able
Sure.
to,
Yeah.
hopefully, if you're doing your job, these kids come in, they live there a couple years, and then they move on
Yeah.
to more of a market rate independent living if we do our job, right?
Right.
And so that's where LFS came in.
Okay.
And LFS came into the fold, and I got to say that, like I've been saying, I'm really proud of them and what they've been able to do. And this is not something that's easy that you just pick up and go with. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of learning. Burlington Capital. So
Okay.
Burlington, they've come in to manage that. Emily has been amazing. Emily
Yeah, we do
coming
quite
in.
a bit with yeah.
you do? Okay.
We do, yeah. They've been really good to work with.
They're a wonderful organization. I can't say enough good things about them. And they did a super job of coming in. And there's a lot of problems initially with the management because these kids are coming in really with, they've never really lived on their own before.
They haven't had structure.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
They just need someone to kind of hold their hand a little bit and say, this is how life really works,
Sure.
right? And so my own children, I've had to do it with my own kids. So, just imagine that these are kids that didn't have the blessings that our children have.
Absolutely.
And they're floating from one home to the next. And so, yeah.
Yeah, they're just living. They're striving to live.
Yeah, they're surviving.
Yeah, they're surviving.
They're surviving. And
Right.
so I feel honored and blessed that we were able to help in some little way. And LFS is really the ones taking that and run with it. And like I said, I'm excited for what they've done and what they're going to be doing.
That's
And
so cool. So from
yeah.
conception to end result, with the project being the demo, the reconstruct, and the final ending, are you guys involved beyond that? Or are you guys just involved from the conception of it, the funding, the development, the rehab, and
Stabilization would be
Stabilization?
Yeah.
Okay.
So stabilizing. So if you think of Ryan and Matt and Will and Fabian and Rich is our team, right?
Okay.
So RMDX is several people here, but if you think of what we do, our job is really to come up with the funding to make it happen.
Okay.
And then once we come up with the funding and get it developed, we don't stop there because we want to be good stewards of the financial investment people are making. So we take it to that next step of making sure that it stabilizes. That here we said this is what we were going to do,
Okay.
and this is what it's doing. So we hand you the keys and say it's stabilized. It's generating the income, the revenue that we said it should, and now we're ready to hand it off.
Wow, you guys must have a really nice, that is so cool. You guys have a roadmap, and as you're continuing to learn and grow, you guys are taking on more projects. You guys are getting ready to start one. You just finished another one in Fremont, right?
Correct. There's one in Fremont we did, and that one was just a historic tax credit that Ryan and I actually personally own. So
Okay.
we did that. That was just 30 units of market rate in the old historic building that had been vacant for, again, 25, 30 years. City of Fremont kind of tapped Ryan's shoulder and asked him if he'd be willing to do this. And
Wow.
And so I'm honored. Ryan kind of invited me to the table, and we were able to get it done. And there's another project that we're kicking off. It's a kind of a homeless shelter in North Platte that we're doing some housing for right now that will be kicking off here in the next 60 to 90 days, which is exciting. And is trying to create some permanent housing for some folks in that market. And so it's low-income housing tax credits. And again, I'm excited, very excited about the prospects of what we can deliver there. So,
Because once you guys do that, you can then replicate that and try to bring that to a city anywhere. Yeah, I mean,
Correct.
obviously, every place has its need. We have such a great need here in the local metro area. So
we do.
we just got to find the right opening, and the right door's got to open, and the right opportunity has got to present itself.
So I'm involved with a lot of, as you were saying, a lot of different projects. beyond just the stuff Ryan Durant and I work on. I have some other developments and partnerships that I'm involved in that are more in that like market rate. So the project my building's in Swivel, or the one on 72nd and Grover, the parallel. There's another one on 35th and Leavenworth. Those are strictly market rate deals.
Yes.
But what it's exposed me to is the very thing that, Ryan Durant has been so like passionate about, and that is we are sort of pricing some of these folks out of the market. There's some of these projects, the rents we're requiring or asking for are relatively high. And so there's people that really can't afford, they just can't afford the rents. Some of those same people be my own children. They're working, and my kids are like, boy, Dad, I don't know how these people are doing. $1,600 a month in a one bedroom. $1,800 a month. Yeah. They're going
circumstances
to school.
Changes for everybody. So this just opens up a great opportunity for somebody that may be their need. They need to have. They
do. They call it like the just naturally occurring workforce housing. Where it's you're creating housing naturally through and here's an example. So I'm buying a property in the old market that's 20 units, and rather than take that project, empty out the units and go through and upgrade to high-end finishes and bump rents up to $1,600 to $1,800 a month, when rather than doing that, I would rather just maybe upgrade the units a little bit, put laundry in the units, maybe do some cosmetic upgrades, get the units looking like a little refresh. And then maybe keeping people closer to that 950 range, which gives people, a chance to have a nice place to live, right? And
absolutely.
Not have to pay exorbitant rents. And I win because we're coming into it with, a good investment. We're going to make a nice return on it. And I feel like it's a win-win. And we need more of those projects right now where they're appealing to this audience that are people working in the, maybe as a service, employee somewhere downtown.
Sure.
Waiter, maybe a cook, whatever. They need somewhere to land. And so I think you're on to something, that there's that need there that's not being served right now. And I think there's definitely more of it. And Ryan, if you really want to know more about it, listening to Ryan is incredible. He's so smart. He'll tell you the stats. He just fly off about how many units we need in that housing, and it's just really interesting, and it's a lot. It's really a lot. This is interesting. I was reading. So in the U.S. right now has roughly, don't hold me to this, but somewhere around 84 to 85 million homes. Okay. Traditionally, that I would call it number of homes would grow on an average of anywhere between 1 to maybe 1.5% a year. Okay, so net gain.
Right? Net gain.
Net gain. And so we had a little problem back in 2007-8. As you know,
we did,
where the supply overran the demand, and we had all this excess supply. And so now what's interesting is you look at, you just go to the Federal Reserve, they have these great statistics, but I've been watching these. What I've noticed is that the single family homes, that population, that number has actually been less than, in a couple years. I don't even know if it's been over 1% for the last couple years.
I don't think it has.
Yeah, and so then you're seeing that dropping. But what's even more interesting is, even in spite of that, there isn't enough demand even to really catch what we have coming out. And if you look at multifamily, it's just the opposite, where multifamily is growing at historic rates.
Yes.
And it's not just here, but it's nationally that we're seeing it. And so one would have to ask, okay, why is that? Why are we seeing that? And I think there's a few reasons for that. But some of those, it's not one reason, but I think it's a multitude of reasons. And I think it's because, interest rates are higher.
Okay.
Incomes haven't stayed up with the cost to build
Cost
or buy.
of living has not
Right.
stayed current. Okay.
I think the demographics have said to us that, these different, whether it's Gen Ys, Gen Zs, these folks don't really want to own a home. They're getting married later in life. And so, the job market in terms of where people want to live, they want to be more mobile. It's just a lot of things playing into it that have caused some of that multifamily demand to really go up. And, I have no crystal ball, but I don't see any reason why it's going to change in the next 6, 12, or 18 months. I mean,
I don't think it will. No, I after 2008, so I'd done quite a bit of study just on real estate, and I never took my license, but I'd been in the real estate world for a long time. But after 2008, we started producing and building homes in particular areas. One of them, the metro area, was affected quite a bit as well, but we were building almost 40 to 50% less housing per year for a significant amount of time.
Okay.
I think it was 10 to 11 years we were building almost 30 to 40% less housing year over year, while we were building almost 3 times the amount of apartment communities.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And so even like in the metro, you'll see these apartment communities now, and each community or each property will have its own pool, its own pool house. Now they even have attached bar and grills.
They do.
Directly tied with them. I think what you're seeing is, much like fast food and gas stations, they are now convenience-based.
They are.
Locations. I mean, you may not even go to Hy-Vee to go get your milk anymore.
Right.
People might just go up to the gas station to go get their milk.
Yeah, the model for some of the multifamilies even changed a little bit. So, like in terms of, where people are used to going to like a Costco or a grocery store and loading up on all these groceries, what we're noticing a little bit, the trend is people just going to grab a couple days worth of food, right, and cooking it that night or the next night, but not loading up, right, on all of this, because maybe it's they want to go out and meet friends, or maybe they, so we do notice, and the unit sizes have certainly gotten smaller. Some of that's because of the cost of construction, but some of it is the folks don't want to pay a lot of rent, and they want something just convenient, like you said, small, that they just come into. They got a studio, and that's all they want, 500 feet, and they're happy.
When I think about your journey and the success you've had, Matt, I'm just curious, what's a few key things that you think's real critical? I mean, what's gotten you from the ground level to where you started at, to the, what you would call success, today, and what are some of the key contributors to that? What do you think drives you, or what do you think has driven your ability to overcome the obstacles that you faced and put yourself in a position to not just be State Farm and not just be RMDX, but also your development firms and your connections and the life that you've been able to lead?
Well, that's a loaded question. Yeah. So how much time do we got? So I think that one of the things I kind of tell other folks coming into the business, insurance business, quite a bit, I'll have someone call me and say, hey, do you have just a minute to sit down, and they're maybe new coming into State Farm. And they'll ask questions of, how long you've been doing it, and, what, like you just said, what are the secrets or whatever. And there really just isn't. The reality is, I tell them that they're kind of asking the wrong question.
Sure.
And I think I said, what you want to maybe do as you go into this business or any business really is ask why.
Why would you do this?
Exactly. Why do I do what I do? And I tell people I'm kind of a nerd. I love what I do. I jump out of bed to go to work every day. And that's, kind of going to something you love to do and you really never work another day of your life. And so that, I think it starts there. I'm passionate about what I do. I love to serve other people. I love to, honestly, I love to just help people. And I think if you do that, the very next thing that you want to be able to do after that, if you can, is surround yourself with people that have the same maybe work ethic. I think work ethic's a real big deal to me.
Sure.
Values is a real big deal to me.
Yeah.
And I would say that, intelligence is a big deal to me. So hiring people that can kind of, in a sort of way, duplicating yourself through others a little bit. And so if I was to sit here and say, boy, look what I did this and I did that, stop listening, because it's all
man, I
lies.
agree.
It's you got to be able to surround yourself with really good, talented people and let them do what they do, right?
Oh,
and
gosh, absolutely.
And so I've been very lucky and blessed in that sense. And I don't have like some secret on how you find people or, I just think, I thank God every day that I got the people I have. And
That might be it right there.
maybe you're right.
The gratitude.
Yes, yeah, maybe.
Just as simple as that. I think gratitude goes such a long ways in life. I think as long as we can just learn that, to be thankful for where we're at, regardless of the circumstances that we're facing, just to be gratitude, to be thankful and for what we have, regardless of what that looks like. I mean, we might be in obstacles, we might be facing challenges, and we might be above those challenges at certain points of our life, but seasons change and you never know what's going to come around the corner. So
you just don't. And I have felt like over the years, the other probably little thing that probably is overlooked, but when you start a business, you're trying to survive initially, you're just trying to make it work. But one of the things I find very important is that when you're making an investment, whatever business it is, be realistic on expectations. One of the things that I have learned over time is that really time is your best friend. And so when you look at like investing in a new office building or looking at investing in maybe expanding your business operations and hiring people, don't look at it in terms of weeks, months, quarters. Jeff Bezos, I read his book and it was really interesting. And he said people were kind of scoffing at the idea of, what are you doing with this cloud? And I found it remarkable that he said everybody was disciplining themselves to these quarterly financial statements being released every quarter, what you're earning per share, what's your sales growth. He said, I just threw it out. And he said, when we were making this investment to do this, he had the wherewithal and confidence to say, stop looking at this on a quarterly basis. And he took time and stretched it out, because when you look at things in the short term, you might be looking like this.
Sure.
But when you stretch that time over years, it starts to look more like this. And I think as business owners, we sort of have to step back sometimes and think about, hey, just give yourself time. Give it time to work.
I think that's great perspective. I have found myself there many times thinking that, I need to hit the home run hit as much as I can, when honestly, I think our greatest success has been hitting as many singles as we can and playing the game the long way.
Yes.
For the long road.
Yes. I think that if you look at your business and you look at it from a 2, 3, 4, even 5-year window, it looks a lot different than if you're trying to sit and look at it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And I'm not saying not do that, but don't expect things that happen in the short term. Because if you want short-term benefits, they might only last short-term. But
So good.
you know, you want those long-term benefits, doing things fundamentally on a long-term basis. So put yourself in a position that you're going to continue to be able to do the things you're doing today on a long-term basis will generate long-term benefits.
Oh man, if we could just continue to not look at things as a destination point and more of a journey.
Yeah, that's a great, I love that. Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I don't know, and I mean, you probably don't either, how long we're going to be doing what we do.
I don't.
I just don't.
But
so I plan to be doing this 20, 30 years from now, but it's only God willing. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know.
I'll tell you, I'm grateful though. I'm grateful for the connections that I've been able to make. I'm extremely grateful for the service that we have been able to provide, but also that other organizations have provided to us. And so being able to just see life as a reciprocal way of doing things, it's harnessed so much energy and fun and love and more laughter than I could have ever imagined. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity that we could continue to do what we're passionate about and be of service to other people. So.
And it's seen in your work. I would just finish with this thought that when I see the work that you guys do, it's interesting because this is amazing. Like I tell people, like, if you're putting a roof on, you want to do what's called an impact resistant roof. Mm-hmm. This is a roof that we're hoping 20 to 30 years from now is going to still be there. And so I look
That's
at
a good
like,
point too.
So the quality of the work you're doing is you're looking at, I'm putting this on your home. There's probably a good chance that this roof I'm putting on might be 3 families later benefiting from, possibly.
That could, that's a good way to look at it.
You guys, you're the quality that you guys work, it's right there in front of you. The 20, 30 years worth of, hopefully, that roof is going to sustain and protect that house for over that time. You guys are doing that. And I love just the craftsmanship and the work, and it's revealed in the quality of work you do.
Yeah.
So
we're revising some of our stuff. We're going through a program, and you've probably heard of it, maybe even ran it. It's called Traction or EOS.
Right.
It's a great management program. This will be the second time we've gone through it. But one of the things that we finally decided on is they were like, well, what would be like your 3 characteristics that you could just say, hey, what does royalty stand for? And I think one of them, was probably very professional. The other one was probably very professional. And the last one that I just thought of, I said, you know what? It's just roofing. In the grand scheme of things, it's just roofing. That's it. If I could just simplify things down to a boiling point to where we don't overcomplicate some things, it's just roofing. But it's more than that because it's really the service that we go after. It's the commitment we make to want to make sure that whatever we're doing, we're leaving a lasting impression.
Right.
I think that's probably the one thing that we want to do, regardless if it's the roof or the siding or whatever it is. I think at the end of the day, we want to leave somebody with a lasting impression that says, I felt cared for, I felt like the professional, I feel really good regardless if I'm in this property or somebody else is in this property. There's somebody there that has my back. Just boil it down to a few things. So.
And it's working because
it works very well.
Because I get to work with different folks in your organization.
Yeah.
And I always find interesting, like, if you really want to know what somebody's company's about, go to the worker bees and the people.
Yeah, see how they're being. Yeah, that's a good idea too.
And what I find in your company, I love this, is that every person along the way is singing to the same tune, and they like being there, and they're just nice. They're good people. They're smart. They care. You can't buy that.
No,
I'm telling you. I mean, people don't understand. You can't buy it. Yeah. I mean, you really has to be. It's got to be ingrained in the culture, and it starts with you. It starts at the top. People don't care what you know until they know you care.
That's good.
And I'm telling you, I see it. And that's why we really love working with you guys.
Yeah.
It's not, the longer you're in the business, you know this too. The longer you're in the business, the more you see where it's not happening, right?
Yeah, right. So we see that all the time.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, you and I, we make a commitment to making sure that our clients understand the process that they're going to go through. Let's, in a storm, an event, whether it's a hail or wind or even, unfortunately, hopefully, not to be seen again, but a tornado. And
Right.
the way the operating exposures that happen in a storm and the commitment that some organizations or companies commit to servicing their individual clients, is totally different. They're all on a completely different spectacle and different realm. And so the great thing that we have here is not very many people can call their agent and get get engagement.
Right.
Your firm and your company has done a tremendous job of stepping in when needed, committing to the people, the policyholders, to those that it really affects the most. It doesn't affect me,
Right.
but it affects the policyholder more than it does anybody. And so, the commitment you guys have given to your policyholders is, really good. And we love being able to work with you guys. So,
In 1975,
yeah.
I was 7 years old.
Was that the last tornado?
That was the tornado, and the eye of that tornado went over our house. It destroyed everything. The whole.
Did that hit the middle of Omaha?
It did. So you know where Petco is at 72nd and Dodge?
Yes.
So when I was a little boy, there's 5 boys in my family.
Okay.
And we lived at 114 South 70th Ave.
Okay.
And across the street.
Oh, yeah, right across the street. Yeah.
Right across the street. And there used to be a Hinky Dinky where Petco is. That used to be Hinky Dinky. In the corner was a Dippy Donuts. and right there where PJ Morgan is, right on Dodge now, it used to be Wolf Brothers.
Okay.
And there was a green stamp store. It was really, so I remember all these things. I was only 7 at the time, but I know I just kind of spoke about this, but I just remember just how traumatic that moment in time was. There's just moments in our lives you'll never forget. I can still remember the smell. I can still remember the sounds, without going into all of that. But I think that that probably played a big part in why I'm sitting here today as an insurance guy, because I saw what that did to families, and I saw how important the insurance was for people to get back on their feet. I still remember, my mom and dad wondering, were you ever going to be able to rebuild again? Because they didn't know. I mean, it was just like, there was a car in the neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Band, that lived next to us, just to the south of us. There's a car going through their roof. And, I just remember just how powerful, that was. Just, realizing just how life can change on a dime. And, but the business I'm in is to give people the confidence to know that we can get you back to where you were before, right? And I think that has
Absolutely.
And I think that has a lot to do with maybe why I do what I do every day. And
that's awesome.
It's weird to look back on that and think about, like you're talking about that tornado. It happened again, right? It did. And it was tragic for a lot of families. Families lost. I'm sure you were involved in some of that.
A lot. And it truly affects families.
It does.
Tremendously.
It does.
And when I say it's pivotal, it is crucial that local policyholders have somebody that they can truly rely on when it comes to their insurance.
Yes.
It is.
It
is crucial. I mean, I am a very big advocate for just what is good and what is right. And so I don't say a lot to policyholders outside of just providing them with the appropriate feedback when they're in a loss and how to get through it. And then even if they're not with an organization that I think truly cares about them, we just simply get them through the process and then make sure once they're on their feet they do get to the right place, because it's that important. Hopefully nobody goes through losses like that. But even in hailstorms, even windstorms, I mean, they can be significant losses for some people. So,
sure.
all those things are very, very important. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I really enjoy, getting to hear everything that you've done. There's one question I just had. One of the things that I think about, and my mind races all the time, but if I thought about a non-traditional win and what that does, what does that look like to you?
When you say non-traditional win, what do you mean by that? I mean, like, are you talking about for business? Or are you talking about personal?
In life.
In life?
Yeah, like what's been a non-traditional thing that maybe was a setup for success that did not look like it could have been, or has
That's a good question.
transpired into something better than that you now take with you day in and day out?
Yeah,
Maybe it's the tornado. I think that's a huge factor. I think that's a big
interesting.
deal.
I didn't even think about that, but when I was a little kid, and I just remember there's a lot of emotions going on. I'm number 3 out of 5 boys, so I was right in the middle. So, looking back on it, it was clearly devastating, but it shaped my life, where I am today. Sometimes I think if you think about like things that are setbacks that we think are like maybe career ending, or maybe they're things that we think, oh no, this is something this is going to change everything. This is going to, one of those happened to me when I fractured my back. And I'm going to tell you, like, health can be a big deal. So if something major health issue comes along,
absolutely.
A lot of times, if I had any advice for anybody, is don't panic necessarily, but maybe reflect. And, that was one of those moments where, for me at least, I feel like, I did a little extra praying and did a little extra, just soul searching. And that, I think, in itself allowed me to really rethink how I was doing business, and again, maybe rewrite a new chapter, because I wasn't sure if at the time whether I could go back to work for a while there, because it was so bad, the pain was, and I wasn't sure where this was going.
How did it occur?
Well, I had fractured it some years before and did not know it when I fell down the stairs holding my kids. But I had hurt my little girl and I broke her leg, but I didn't think of me. I was worried about her. And when I got her to the hospital, I was a mess. And then I remember looking back on it, I couldn't sit for a couple days. Well, not knowing it, I was hurt worse than I thought I was.
Yeah.
And then some years later, it raised its ugly head. And it just kept progressively getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And so within a 30-day window, I had very little time to figure out what I was going to do next, because the orthopedic surgeons were telling me I needed a fusion, and they weren't even sure that was going to work.
Wow.
And then I had a neurosurgeon I finally went to, and he was my angel, I kind of think. And Dr. Durant did a partial laminectomy, and I had to go to physical therapy, PT, for the rest of my life now.
Okay.
But it was an adjustment in my life and my health. But the business, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And, I'm thankful that I had things situated in a way that if I couldn't go back to work, my family was protected, right? I had put things in place to protect them. But even more than that, it really taught me that, I'm just thankful that I was able to sort of just lean on other people and, put it in his hands, and just kind of just slow it down, slow things down, and make sure like this is right for me and my family, and moving forward. And looking back at that setback, I would have never thought, right? Like, that was 2015 when I had the surgery.
Okay.
And so when that all occurred, it was just weird. Like, I knew I couldn't. So here's what's interesting. I knew I couldn't keep doing the way I was doing things before. So when I got back to the office to go back to work, I had just hired this guy named Mike Kingston.
Okay.
And I brought and I brought Mike in, and I was the guy doing all the commercial. And I asked Michael, would you be willing to help me with this? And here the dummy telling you this, it was life altering, because Mike was 100 times better at it than I was. And what it really did for me, the best lesson in life was, being able to like step back and delegate, let people do what they do, trust them to do what they can do, and the rest was history. And it really was, it was a win I never saw coming. I was sort of by more like I had to do it versus wanting to do it, and I do believe there's no coincidences. I think it was all supposed to happen the way it did.
Oh, absolutely. You did have a choice, though. I mean, you could have went the other direction.
I could have. I mean, there was a few doors I could have. There was door number one was, maybe I don't go back to work. Door number two was, you go back to work, but you go back to status quo.
Yeah.
And then door number three was, hey, I never forget the moment when I was going into surgery I brought the team into my office, and it was really 4 people: Matt Herrick, Mike Kingston, Michelle Cross, and Donna Waltman, who still works for me. And I said to them, hey, I don't know where this is going from here, but I need you. And I never asked this of you guys, but I'm going to need you to help me, because I don't know what I'm going to be capable of doing when I get back and how quick I'm going to be able to get back. And the rest is history. And
so good. What a testament, though. I mean, it's so good to be able to have other people around you and pick up the pieces, and then you just build so much. You build so much trust, and you really build faith in one another.
You do, and in yourself.
And in yourself.
Yeah.
And Kingston did a great job. I know he knocked it out of the park. I mean, he was one of the best commercial.
Absolutely. Very smart.
Yeah.
Very strong work ethic.
Yeah.
He trained Kate, Will, Molly, the whole team. That what they have today was all because of what Mike sort of started.
That's so cool.
And honestly,
you put an all-star on the squad, and now all of a sudden you're reaching the playoffs.
Yeah, and you let them do,
cool.
and you just kind of get out of their way, right?
You get absolutely.
Get out of their way.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, the other thing I did too was that on the personal line side, Michelle and Matt, I let them go. So in all fairness, Matt started the MOA, the other office. And so he said, Matt, I got this. Let me do it. I can do it for you. So cool. And that's why we are. So it wasn't just one person. It was, with Michael, it was also Michelle and Matt. But they took off the other side of it, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I said I didn't know where this was going to go. And the irony of all that was that it opened a doorway that I never thought. The dummy sitting here saying this.
That's such a great win. Such a great non-traditional win. You delegated to elevate, and then you hired a superstar, and the rest of the team, you probably had several superstars in their own right. And so,
yes, absolutely.
That's really what happened. That's what's happened for me, too. I mean, even the growth that we've been able to see happen has been truly based on other people's commitment and dedication and characteristics. I mean, certainly been a big part of, just enjoying to be around what I value the most, but also them thriving in what they love to do. The fact that they could come here and thrive and feel like, regardless of what's going on, this is a place that they get to find purpose in. Because they spend 75% of their time here.
They do.
Right? They spend 70% of the day here.
They're spending more time with you than their own family a lot of times.
Right. So.
What an honor.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it.
It is. Absolutely.
And you're shaping each other's lives a lot of times in the process.
Yeah.
Do you, where you are today, do you see yourself, expanding beyond this in terms of going beyond Omaha? Do you see yourself staying just to Omaha? I'm curious.
When I started the company, I was tearing the roofs off myself.
Yep.
So my first dream was that I was gonna just make $30,000 in a year and be able to provide for my young family.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Then we got to the point where I was just overwhelmed with the amount of revenue and work that I had. And so I was blessed to run into a gentleman and hired him. And then just as things have continued to evolve and grow, I reached these milestones. And, there's Matthew McConaughey he's a very profound individual. He has a great book. He's got some real life leadership. And I think it was the Oscars. It was some award show, and they just said, what keeps you chasing, or who's your, I can't recall what they called it, but he said, it's me, but it's me in 5 years. Whatever I think that I can do, I just want to work every day towards that, and I don't ever want it to be what I achieved then. I just want it to be something that's out in front of me. So, however this story continues to unfold, I'm just going to allow it.
That's awesome.
The more that I try to hold on to what I think I know and what I think has to happen, the more that I burn myself out.
Yeah.
And so with the amazing people that I've been able to have surround me, I think they teach me a lot. And so the more that they teach me, the more that I want to be taught.
And so with the people that you have, do you see yourself in terms of your business being more involved on the maybe business side and less involved on the installation? Because you're pretty involved on the installation side still, aren't you? Would you say, or no?
No, I'm not. I mean,
Okay.
Really, my biggest focus is I also have a really good relationship with Ron,
Okay.
with Abide.
Okay.
And for me, as much as I can, that's where I really enjoy life.
Okay.
I really enjoy getting to see other people flourish.
Okay.
And so
That's awesome.
The more time I can be involved in what we're doing here, but just from a support and leadership and be a part of their daily lives, get to know, find out what they're doing, make sure that they're supported, make sure that they know that what we're doing is sustainable, creating something that they can come here, they can enjoy, they can thrive, they can flourish. Really, we want a roadmap for them to where when they're here, if they want to continue to create a better opportunity for themselves, we want to hopefully get to the point where we have a roadmap where that is not just professionally, but personally as well. And so being able to be a part of their life where it creates something for them.
And you're referring the people working here, of course.
Yeah, people working here, and then when people when we have an opportunity to be a part of community, we absolutely do it. And I think we need to be able to do that as much as we possibly can.
You need to do more of that. I feel like that's a great point. That's really good to hear. I need to be doing more of it. That's a great point.
I don't know. There's times I get to be a part, and then there's times that I don't, depending on where we're at in the seasons of life. But there's always a bit of measure that we might be able to do, whether it's a fractional amount of proceeds that they need, or maybe it's they need a donation, or they need support. Like for Ron Doltzler, I think it was yesterday or the day before, he sent me a text, and they have another lighthouse going up, and he just said, "Hey, Nick, we're in need of XYZ." And I said, "No problem, I'll send somebody down there today."
Oh my gosh.
That's all. That's as much as it could have been for one day.
Huh. Yeah.
But that's
made a huge difference for them.
Yeah.
Made a huge difference for them.
Yeah, for them, what they're doing, for what it was for me, for what it took for us is very minor, but for what it's doing for Abide and the community, it's probably much bigger for them than it is for us. And so This is one thing that we're really trying to engage with is we want to bring people on that are committed to, not just committed to, but that are just making a difference, whether it be professionally, personally, or community driven, whatever it is, whatever we could offer insight to gain relationship and find a sense of relationship together, then that's what
I love it. I love it. And I think whether you may not know it, but it's inspiring. I mean, it's, the little things that you're doing, what you probably may not even realize it not only makes an impact directly to the people you're helping like abide, but the people through which you're doing it with. So that was something that I remember Father O'Leary would always say that, like when you boys, I went to prep and he was just a sweet man. I loved him, but he said, the mantra, of course, for prep is men for others, right?
Yep.
And he would always tell us that it's the little acts of kindness and the little acts that you can do that will make a huge impact. And I remember him having a bucket of water and he would drop a little pebble in it and he would say, "Look at the waves."
Yeah.
And he'd say,
so good.
And he would say, that's the little acts that you do every day. Think of all those things that could be touching, all the people.
Yeah, the ripple effect. It's so good.
It is, man. And what you're doing is that. And I feel like I should be doing more of that. Inspiring me to probably think about doing more. But
you do a lot. You certainly do a lot. Matt, I appreciate you coming on. I sincerely, look forward to your continued operations and everything that's going for you. And thank you for everything. One thing, maybe, is there a couple of things that on the insurance side of things that have changed over the last 90 days or since the beginning of the year that people should know of?
Yeah, I'd say that the big thing we're seeing now in the homeowners, just staying in the homeowners world of insurance, it's been really challenging. I feel bad because a lot of people don't even understand the policies that they're sitting on, and so
they don't.
They just don't.
How do we get better information out to policyholders to help them understand what they have or don't have?
The first thing I would do is, if I was in your seat and the policyholder is asking you to look at their roof, I would want to ask them, when was the last time you met with your insurance agent? Okay, to review your policies. That'd be a good one. And that's something that we, quite honest, we need to be doing a better job of that as well. I mean, you get to a point where you're going, and I make it a point to all my team that, guys, I sound like a broken record.
We should definitely, for all the times that I go out there, I typically ask them, are they aware of their policy?
Yes.
But, it takes nothing, but they should schedule it.
They need to.
What do you think, annually?
Yeah, I'd say in this market, at least every 18 to 24 months you need to, because things are changing so drastically right now. So State Farm, thankfully, is not doing this. But a lot of companies are moving to this. So right now, State Farm still offers replacement value on their homes, on the roofs. And if you have State Farm, I'm asking everybody, if you have an impact-resistant roof in the last 5 or 6 years, make sure your insurance agent, State Farm, knows that and gets it updated. That's the golden ticket right now.
Okay.
If you're going out to get your roof replaced, I don't care who you have insurance with, get an impact-resistant roof.
Right.
It's going to be industry-wide and a golden ticket. I'm seeing it. I'm watching.
It is.
The currently what companies are doing, and I've seen this from the team telling me this, that companies are now changing the homeowners policies, that if your roof is over 7 years old, they're going to put you on a scheduled, depreciated, actual cash value roof. We're also seeing that in some cases, some insurance companies are excluding the roof now, where their roof's not even covered. They're just saying, we're not covering your roof anymore, unless it's for fire or some other peril other than wind and hail. We're seeing companies, and we're one of them, where they're bumping everybody to a wind hail deductible of 1%. We're seeing that. But some companies we're seeing are bumping people. I think Matt just wrote a homeowners on a client that had a $1.2 million home, and they had a 3% wind hail deductible and didn't know it. So they had basically, I think about a $36,000 deductible on wind hail. And so they're like, are you sure about that? And Matt highlighted it and then scanned it and emailed it and said, here, I want you to look at this and see what that says. And they're like, oh my goodness. So those little things you really want to understand and know. And I'm putting it on us. So I say that if you hear this and you're my customer, call my office, ask for, Matt Dougherty, Matt Herrick, Michelle Cross, David Ames, Mason Sandwick, Vicki Tyler, Amber Story. All of them are agents that work for me that I'm honored to have them. They'll sit down with you, go through your homeowner's policy, go through them and understand those policies right now.
That's a big deal. We will make sure that will be part of what we train our guys on as well, is to not just encourage them to think about their policy, but take it that step and say, you have to meet with your agent.
Right.
With all the changes. They need to do it now if they haven't done it in the last year.
Absolutely.
And then after that, they can just do it, whether it be year, biannually, whatever it may be. But for right now, with all the changes that have occurred, I think that's really important.
It really is. I mean, I feel like the industry is just every day I'm hearing something new, literally every day. It's
Us
crazy.
too.
I know. And so I think that, and the other thing too, I'm real proud of my team. One of the things important to me is making sure, like if someone comes to us for a quote, I was talking about Matt Herrick. So Matt Herrick had a client, very expensive home. And one of the things I'm so proud of my team on is they slow down and make sure they understand the customer's, questions, their needs, their wants. So Matt was really slowing down and say, hey, would you by chance send me what you have now so I can kind of at least see what you're doing, because we don't want to just give you a number and say, oh, here you go. We want to make sure we're doing the right thing for you. Like, we want to make sure that if we're quoting you something, are you getting into a better situation?
Yeah, what's the value?
Right. I mean, because listen, I would want
a number is a number.
But it doesn't always equate to the same thing.
It absolutely does.
So we got to make sure that we're doing the right thing for you. You might have a better policy than maybe what we have. I don't know. I mean, we got to make sure we understand it. And that's what I love my team. So if people hear this and you're getting a quote, whether it's, Allstate or American Family, just understand the quote. Make them slow down and explain everything to you.
I agree. We typically, I know, we're really big on educating clients.
Right.
And, personally, Matt, I mean, because we are, and have been for, the last several years, been one of the preferred partners for Nationwide. And so I never even thought about changing insurance. And then finally this year, I don't recall why it didn't finally snap with me. I mean, I talk about insurance to real estate agents, to policyholders, commercially and residentially on a regular basis. And I finally go, I think I should probably call Matt's office and see what I'm paying. And so I got my policy from Nationwide.
Okay.
And then Donna looked at it and she goes, Nick, I think I can help you. I said, okay. Great. And so when she called back and she's like, I think she gave us the numbers. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. I said, Donna, that's like $5,000 a year cheaper. And
was it really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
But was it coverages?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah, see.
Yes.
That's people don't even realize this.
It was $5,000 a year cheaper. Now we bundled our car and our home and our auto, which I thought they weren't at the time.
Oh, they weren't. Okay.
But still,
that's a lot.
That was a lot. I mean, I went to my wife was sitting there and I go, hey, I get to go spend $5,000. She goes,
how'd that go over?
What? I said, yeah, I just saved it. So
I just saved it. That's awesome. That's great.
We're definitely going to take some of this with us, and we're going to make sure that our guys and our staff know that this is a good way to help educate individuals that we get to work with. So
I got a question too that I get asked a lot, and I don't know what to tell them. But a lot of times, people, when I'm talking about impact-resistant roofs,
yeah.
they ask me, how much extra does an impact resistant cost me over just a standard composite roof? And I said, I always thought, I'm guessing, but I'm thinking between 5 and 10%, but I don't know.
No, I mean, there's some manufacturers that may be in that 5% range, but, and maybe some of it comes down to, the size of the organization putting the product on, because one of the factors for us is we do install a lot of product, and so our price point on products are usually really good. But I would say, even in general though, I would say maybe it's not as much as you think.
Okay.
There is certainly no reason for an individual or policyholder to not have that on their property.
Okay.
I mean, I would give it there would be almost no reason why I would not do that for somebody at any given reason.
Okay.
Number one, for the cost per acquisition or the cost per value of it,
right,
for me, is nothing. The value is so much greater for that individual than it is for us. I mean, if you wanted to equate a number to it, I would say less than 2%.
You're kidding me. Is it more labor too involved with it? No.
Now there are products. Now, when I say that, there are products that do have packaging differences, and so a standardized roof is 3 bundles to 100 square feet.
Okay.
And so some manufacturers will bundle their packages different, where it's 4 bundles. But at the end of the day, no, you're still putting on the the square footage of the product.
Okay.
So,
that's good to know.
and some manufacturers have, it's getting to be a very intriguing way of doing business. They have 2 different Class 4 products. So there's Class 3 and Class 4.
Okay.
Class 3 is rated for 1-inch hail and 70 mile an hour winds. Whereas Class 4 is rated for 130 mile an hour winds and 1.5-inch hail.
I know it was 1.5 inches, but I didn't know the wind was included in that. Okay.
So you can purchase the product, and they might have 2 different levels of payment on the product. So I would say 2-3% max on total cost of products. So and nothing else changes, but the value is so much greater for the client, as well as the relationship that we have with the company.
And for you to know, if people put the impact resistant from an insurance perspective, at least at State Farm, we're giving people discounts between
significant
15 to 30%.
The highest in the market. You guys are traditionally, I would traditionally say you're the highest in the market, if not certainly in the 1 to 2 of the market.
I'm glad to hear that. I know that we're putting our money where our mouth is on that. We
absolutely are.
Yep.
Absolutely. State Farm has done a really good job. And the good thing is again, the most important thing I think that comes into play when we talk about a loss that somebody may have is their indirect and direct ability to have a relationship with their agent.
Okay, that's good to know.
I
agree with
far,
that. I 100% agree with that.
By far, 100% is the most important thing. Oftentimes, 75% of the time, they probably would never need you because everything is going to flow as smoothly as needed. But in the event that it is not, and for many factors why it may not be going smoothly, that right there is typically what takes it over the line to get the customer taken care of and add the value.
I mean, for us, I mean, because we've had our issues with claims. Not all adjusters are created the same.
Well,
so
they don't even anymore. There's not a single distributor. There's not a single company anymore that typically uses their own claims handlers anymore.
Yeah, we do a kind of a mixed bag. We
Yeah.
have some that we will, and then there's some. So I never know. It's
Right.
random, and I have no control of it, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, but what I will.
That's across all.
It is. We yeah. Because I know
Industries.
people that have adjusted for us. I've literally had people tell me I also adjust for
Absolutely.
nationwide or whatever. So, but what's interesting though is you have to, in terms of when you have issues, I can never alter an adjuster's decision. I have no control of that, and
Right.
no agent does.
Right.
But over the years of experience, I lean on people like you that say, "Hey, Matthew, we looked at this one. There is no damage. So I just want you to know we agree with your adjuster."
Yeah.
But then there's other times you'll say, "Matthew, this is one we need your help on," and then I jump on it and I say, "Hey, let's see if we can get another adjuster to take a look at it,
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
an independent set of eyes on it besides the person that worked on it."
That's it.
Yeah, it is. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Because you guys are there, you guys are just there to really offer the support, and it goes a long ways.
It hopefully does. I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but typically, you just got to know the right people to talk to at the right time, right? And
Yeah.
so,
And we all have one vision. We're all on one accord. We want one thing: our customer to be taken care of.
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I've literally told people this, like if you guys have looked at a roof for us and you said this roof is fine,
Yeah.
and the customer called me and say, all my neighbors are getting new roofs. And I'll tell you something. The people that came out and looked at your roof are about as honest as they get.
Yeah.
Because they're in the business to do roofs. Yeah. That's what I tell them. They're in the business to make money. To do
I
roofs.
am too. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Whenever
so-
I tell somebody they don't have damage,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
I'm
And
like, "Well, I don't just,
Yeah.
I don't just tell people no because
I want to do your roof, and someone will sit there and say, "Well, do you think we need to get someone else?" I'm like, "Well, you can. I'm
Yeah,
never saying
sure you
no to
can.
that. You can.
Yeah.
But let me just say this: you probably need to realize the people that put that roof on did a pretty doggone good job because
maybe you just,
they held
have a
up.
good product. I mean, to me, that's a great thing.
That's a really good thing to have.
great
That's a really good thing to have. So.
What about on the development side? What's the new? I mean, so you got the project coming up in North Platte. Is there anything else on the radar?
Yeah, so we have, I was just saying that, so Ryan Spellman invited me to the table to a project over by the Med Center, Blackstone area on 35th and Leavenworth. I don't know if you know where like the Family Dollar was and the Mother India right there on 35th and Leavenworth. We're scraping that and going up with 85, 90 units right there.
Nice.
So there'll be market rate units. So we're pretty excited.
Have you ever been to Barrett's for the Philly cheesesteak?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, you got to do. Not only is that another one, but every once in a while they'll do a pork tenderloin sandwich.
It's really good.
Oh, forget about it.
It's amazing.
I know it.
Is there any other ones out there that we should know about?
Well, have you ever been to Dinkers? Have you done the
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dinkers. Yeah,
Dinkers.
they got a great burger.
Well, they got the best burger.
Yeah.
I know. They're up there. I mean, I don't know if it's the best. It's in the top 2 or 3. My father-in-law, Perry Pointer, if you ever want to know great food, that guy, just call him up and say, "Hey, I'm hungry for this." He'll know where to go.
I like it. Omaha has some good food.
They do. We're spoiled.
We are. Did you make it down to CWS at all?
Well, we left for Florida, the family, the week it started, and then by the time we got back,
It doesn't take long.
it doesn't. No, so we missed it this year, but it was a good series. It was a lot of fun. LSU fans are a blast.
Oh my God.
They're the best.
They really know how to come support.
They do. In fact, I met a State Farm agent from Louisiana.
Cool.
And Peggy and her husband, I got her tickets to the LSU Arkansas game. The kicker.
That was
the game.
That was the game.
And she could not think when I have a unit down at my building that we just keep open for people that. So I let her stay there. They were like, they were having so much fun. Those LSU fans.
They are
they're
fantastic.
Amazing. And she gave me a gift
She left it there.
She did. She left me a gift, and it's for a shrimp boil.
I
It's got
love
all the
it.
spices. So
I love it.
So we have to do one. I told
love
everybody,
it.
I'm going to get you an invitation, and Dave, that's from my
Make
office.
it a company event.
Yes.
We'll do a company event.
Yes. I thought I'd get because David's got all the fixins to do it. So I want to do something where we go get
so
something.
good.
And David's from Mobile, so he's from Mobile. So
yeah.
David's like,
He knows how to
he's
cook
like,
it.
just get out of my way. I got this.
Delegate to elevate.
Yes.
Cool. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you so
I'm
much,
honored.
Matt.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having this.